most of the general public, we don't understand, I don't think. As he said, I've been at home at altitude for 2 months. I've been away from home now with the race for 3 months from my family. And that comes at a real cost. You know, these people are human beings, and that goes some way to explaining the emotion from Nico Denz.
Yeah, especially, you know, being able to recalibrate yourself in order to go on a hunt for a stage victory after you know for roughly 2-3 months that you're going to be at the Giro d'Italia as a domestic for a possible winner. And, you know, find your leader, Primož Roglič, on the ground, off the race, and you need to just switch yourself after, you know, all the efforts you've done and thinking like, okay, I spent a lot of time away from home. I spent a lot of energy and also mental energy to do this. I might go out and hunt for a stage, and it's not an obvious switch, you know. And this is something normal nowadays to spend a lot of time away from home. But once again, remember this to the public at home is something, because it takes a lot to be able to compete at a high level.
Nearly sprayed himself in the face there, the German. Quite a rock and roll attitude towards popping open that sparkling wine, playing it like an electric guitar. Good lad, Nico Denz, does it again. Popular win, popular rider. And with hindsight, it always looks easy when you think back. You think, well, of course Nico Denz won. But he was very strong, and he was probably a little bit fresher and on better form than anyone else in that group.
Yeah, definitely he was mentally very fresh, because when you race in with such smart moves, that means that you're present in the race and you're doing always the right decision, and this just come down when you're very good and in shape.
And we talked about experience, didn't we? As soon as they entered the circuit and we knew those 10 riders were going to win the stage, or one of them was, we talked about experience, and Nico Denz has got more than anyone of what it takes to win a stage of the Giro.
Here we are with the Maglia Rosa. Today was a rest day of some sort for the Mexican Isaac del Toro.
Just 144 kilometers, all ridden at a very moderate tempo. He's basically detrained today. He'll probably go out on the bike for a bit. Yeah, the most straightforward day, actually, of the entire Giro d'Italia so far. It's certainly the spell in which, the prolonged spell now, 11 days, by my calculations, of the Maglia Rosa. And the easiest one he's had so far. So he's had one very chastening, humbling, difficult day, one outstanding day yesterday, and then a day just to get through and take stock and think about what happens next. But UAE Team Emirates have suffered a setback today, and it is potentially quite a significant one. Juan Ayuso has had to abandon the race, and that could yet have a negative impact on Isaac del Toro's chances.
Or not.
Or not.
Because, you know, we cannot underestimate what's the importance of a harmony also off the bike for a team. And this, obviously, we cannot know how was the situation within the team after the race, you know, at the table at dinner. So if it was a plus or a minus, the loss of Juan Ayuso, we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, that sort of thing. We have to wait, don't we, 10 years until they write their autobiographies. Then we find out what really went on.
No, we care. But definitely tomorrow is going to be race on for this man, Isaac del Toro. So far, so good for the young Mexican.
Well, we don't really need to be reminded, but just for the completion of everything, that is the top 10 in the general classification, which has not changed at all today. Still very tight, all the way down to Derek G, possibly at 1 minute and 57 seconds, who probably still believes with 2 amazing days that he could turn it around and win the Giro.
The Maglia Ciclamino today was on a hunt, but I think he knew immediately they would have been come down to a much reduced bunch, and when you're such a dominant rider, it's very often you you find yourself caught up in tactics by other teams?
I think, and I'm saying this tentatively, he's won it. There'll be 50 points available for Rome, 20 points available for the next 2 days at the finish line. That's a total of 90 points.
Just have to ride through the next 3 stages. I mean it's much easier to say than do it for a sprinter in the next 2 days.
Had Olaf Koy won today and Pedersen not picked up any points, then it would just about have been an open competition. But I think the total that Mads Pedersen has now is unassailable.
4-stage victory so far for Pedersen, who now will focus just on Rome, last sprint and last stage of this Giro d'Italia. But now for 2 days, it's going to be just survival camp for the Danish rider.
Let's have a look. I think there are 162 points left in the race. And, oh, he's not quite there. It's not quite done yet. Olaf Koy could only mathematically and theoretically catch him. But Olaf Koy would have to win the next 2 mountain stages, which isn't going to happen.
No, I think it's very fair to say, without due respect to Olaf Koy, a wonderful rider. Not for the mountains, though. But this man, in the blue jersey, secure his jersey, his classification, but as he said yesterday, it's now time to try to get a stage victory, and he has 2 chances coming up in the next 2 days.
He will undoubtedly try and get in the breakaway tomorrow. Whether or not the breakaway actually makes it to the line, I don't know, because there's so much at stake in the general classification tomorrow. The race might come back together again, and the breakaway might be thwarted. He'll try, though. That's all he can do. Big crowds in this lovely, hot, late afternoon sunshine now. And Lorenzo Fortunato, they're showing that jersey off, pulling it on again for another day. An interesting little cameo role played by his teammate, Christian Scaroni, today, who seemed intent on getting all the mountains points he possibly could on the road, just to shore up his 2nd place. An insurance policy, I guess, in case Lorenzo Fortunato, let's really hope it doesn't happen, were to crash out or otherwise have to abandon the Giro before Rome. But as he pops open yet another champagne cork and she picks up yet another bouquet. Lorenzo Fortunato.
So far was a very good Giro d'Italia for Fortunato. Rode perfectly, he just missed 1 victory. So it's, I think it's one
which should and could have been his, really. It was just that he was with his teammate Scaroni. Yep. So Del Toro readying himself for his final appearance on the podium today. As Fortunato tosses another bouquet. Never quite clears the fence into the public, does it? Always ends up with a...
Just a girlfriend. So
somebody with a... Yeah, that's fair enough.
So it was a well-calibrated...
He hit a photographer. Christian Scaroni, anyway, is in 2nd place. Manuele Tarozzi, though, has moved up into 3rd place today.
Thanks to the abandon of Juan Ayuso.
Not just that, he also moved above Olalio by picking up points today. So, a good day for Tarozzi. Everyone else moving up in the rankings, as you say, because the teammate of this man forced to abandon. So UAE now 2 riders down, Ayuso and Jay Vine, for the mountains to come. Still got a frighteningly strong team, but a lot will rest on the shoulders of Rafa Majka, not just physically, but also tactically and temperamentally, psychologically, to guide this young man through the next 48 hours of racing, which will determine the outcome of the Giro d'Italia.
Yeah, Rafa Majka is the much expert rider of UAE Team Emirates. Yesterday was he played once again another key role in leading his Segui to victory, and is going to be vital for the young Mexican in the next 2 days.
Well, today was a GC neutral day, so there's no change. Oh, there's a slight change actually with Ayuso's abandon towards the back end of the classification. Zambanini moves up to 7th, Arrieta and Garofoli move into 9th and 10th respectively. Mads Pedersen is not quite mathematically clear, but as good as, and another